If Laban had been a righteous man, the Book of Mormon might have been a very different record with a very different name. The brass plates had been passed down to him as the most current caretaker at the time the Lord saw fit to transfer stewardship to Lehi. But even though the record on the brass plates were diligently kept as current as Jeremiah's many recent prophecies, according to 1 Nephi chapter 5, verse 13, Laban nevertheless forfeited his right to continue its record keeping. Laban might well have been considered righteous by Laman and Lemuel, whose metric of righteousness is nothing more than keeping the, quote, statutes and judgments of the Lord and all his commandments according to the law of Moses, end quote, as we read in 1 Nephi chapter 17, verse 22. But just because they dutifully went to the temple to make their regular offerings and abstained from unlawful things did not mean their hearts were at all in the right place. Likewise, just because we today in the church regularly attend the temple, pay our tithing, and check all the boxes, so to speak, does not mean we are righteous. The Lord declared as much according to Isaiah. In chapter 1, we read in verse 1 who the Lord is addressing. The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amoz, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. In verses 10 through 13, we read, Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams, and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he-goats. When ye come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. The hearts of Laban, Laman, and Lemuel were set upon their riches and their possessions and their inheritances. When we go to the temple or to church, are our hearts focused elsewhere, to some sports game or some dream car or a vacation destination? When we minister to a neighbor, are our hearts full of love, patience, compassion, and long-suffering? Or are we eager to get back to whatever we were doing before we were interrupted from our own lives? In Isaiah chapter 1, continuing, we read in verse 16 and 17, the Lord saying, Wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil, learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow. If you're watching this, I recommend that you prayerfully read and study Matthew chapter 25 this weekend. There are 3 parables in this chapter that distinguish between people like Laban and people like Lehi, whose heart ached for his fellow man at Jerusalem, who were ripe for destruction. God does not want servile sycophants who check all the boxes. He might as well have robots doing all our works. What God wants is a family. He wants his children to love one another as much as he loves us. A lot can be unpacked with that last statement.